It's hard to believe we're halfway through 2024 already, but it's that time of year. It's our top 5 best bourbons of 2024 so far. Welcome back to the Whiskey Tornado. I'm your host, Lance, and it is that time, guys. It's time to talk about my favorite things I've tasted so far in 2024. Now, while the title of this video is Top 5 Best Bourbons of 2024, I got to tell you guys, there's some finished stuff in here. There's some ryes, a little bit of everything, but this is a very unique list that I doubt anyone on WhiskeyTube will duplicate. With all that being said, let's get into it. It's my 5th best bourbon of 2024. It's Hard Truth's 4-grain bourbon. If you've been a follower of the channel for any amount of time, you know that I have been on the Hard Truth train for 4, maybe 5 years, and they just keep releasing amazing bottles. They had quite a few new releases this year, but the Sweet Mash 4-grain bourbon that they came out with is absolutely fantastic. It was a batch of 28 barrels, came in at 100 proof. It's bottled in bond. And what is so great about this particular bottle is one of my favorite notes I get in my favorite Hard Truth bottles is a deep, rich butterscotch note like in Werther's Original Candies. And this release has it in spades. It's just absolutely beautiful, crushable bottle, and once again Hard Truth just keeps killing it. And for such a young distillery to constantly make my best of the year videos, I'm just so impressed with what Brian Smith and the guys at Hard Truth are doing. This bottle is about $70 and not that hard to find in states that Hard Truth is distributing to. So if you've been passing on these guys, don't say I told you so when you finally figure out how good this bourbon is. All right, coming in at number 4 of the best bourbons I've tasted in 2024 is none other than Barrel Craft Spirits Cask Finishing Series. It's their bourbon finished in Mizunara oak. Again, if you've been a follower of this channel, you know I've been high on Barrel Craft Spirits and the master blenders that they have working for them. They're a non-distilling producer, but what they source and the way they blend those different bourbons from different distilleries is just absolutely a masterful thing, and they continue to do it. And their cask finishing series, and this one's finished in Mizunara oak, absolutely blew me away. I've been very high on Barrel Craft Spirits for a number of years, and I think this is their best release to date. It comes in at 116.42 proof. You can find this bottle for around $85, which is an incredible value for bourbon finished in Mizunara oak. You can watch, I did a special review on this bottle, but there are a lot of other distilleries coming out with bourbons finished in Mizunara oak that go for $120 to $150. So the fact that Barrel Craft Spirits released this at $85, and the fact that it's so unbelievably delicious, it's unique. You guys have got to go find this bottle. And just like Hard Truth at our number 5 spot, this bottle can be easily found in states that Barrel Craft Spirits distributes to. All right, moving on to the 3rd best bourbon I've tasted in 2024. Comes to us from another newer distillery. It's Dark Arts. Now, Dark Arts is a newer brand started by Macaulay, formerly of Wilderness Trail. They're also a non-distilling producer. They source their whiskey from mainly MGP and then finish it. And Macaulay, again, this is one of these guys that is just a masterful blender. We did a barrel pick with Barrels for Hope. Barrels for Hope is my charity organization. We're a 501c3. We're going to donate $40,000 to charity this year. Thank you to all the followers of this channel who are a member of that and make that possible. But we did a Barrels for Hope pick with Dark Arts. This beautiful bottle. The packaging's amazing. So I know this is going to sound biased, but this is one of the best things I have tasted so far in 2024. And when we discover newer, younger distilleries like that, we want to bring that to you. We want to bring you that value for following the channel. This particular bottle is a 7-year-old MGP bourbon with a unique mash bill of 51% corn, 39% malted rye, the rest malted barley, and it's finished in an Oloroso sherry cask. The finishing is just absolutely beautiful, very well done, doesn't taste too overly finished, but that's what Macaulay's great at, is knowing exactly when to pull bourbon and rye from finishing casks. If you guys have not tried Dark Arts, you need to. Now, while all of these are sold out and you can't buy those, you can join Barrels for Hope for as little as $5 a month. Just go to Patreon, or actually just go to barrelsforhope.com. You can read all about it if you're interested. But if you can't get this particular bottle, it's good to know that if you see Dark Arts in the stores, you should definitely buy a bottle of it. This was about $100. I think their core lineup starts at about $65, but just phenomenal finishing and one of the brands to look out for as we move forward on your bourbon journey. Number 2 on the best bourbons of 2024 so far is not a bourbon, but again, that title is really just to let you guys know we're doing a best of video. These are the best things I've tasted in 2024. This is from another newer, younger distillery. I hope you guys see a theme here. We're not talking about Buffalo Trace and hard to find allocated bottles. These are bottles you guys can find, and they are doing some amazing things. This one comes to us from Middle West Spirits. This is a company out of Ohio. They are just doing a fantastic thing. This is, again, another barrel pick we did with Barrels for Hope. And this is their cask strength dark pumpernickel rye. Comes in at 124.48 proof. This bottle rivals Jack Daniel's single barrel proof ryes, in my opinion. Also tastes better than a lot of the Old Forester single barrel proof ryes that people are chasing. It's just an absolutely fantastic bottle that many people don't know about. And again, if you can't get the Barrels for Hope, which you can't, this is sold out, you can definitely find these in stores at states that it's distributed to or at their distillery. But a lot of people don't know about this yet. It's a fantastic expression to get your hands on before the hype gets out of control. All right, and that leads us to my favorite bourbon of 2024 so far, which is a bourbon. Stick around after I release my favorite bourbon. I'm going to tell you guys my favorite spirit of 2024, which is definitely something you want to put on your wish list. All right, guys, the best thing I've tasted so far, again, is another Barrels for Hope single barrel pick, but it's from a company that you can find, again, on the shelves. But this brand is really growing in popularity, especially amongst those of us on WhiskeyTube who have been to the distillery and done picks. It is none other than Nashville Barrel Company. And again, this is a non-distilling producer sourcing MGP, finishing it in Kelvin barrels. This is one of the best, one of my probably top 10 whiskeys I've had. Just absolutely blew me away when we got it. Again, they're sold out with Barrels for Hope, but you can find Nashville Barrel Company. I know my regular store, A1 down in Effingham, has 2 of their barrel picks, and they're fantastic. Everything I've had from Nashville Barrel Company is phenomenal. It's about an $85 bottle, and again, it's not allocated, so you can find these. But this is like a cigar box. This is just absolutely fantastic. Cigar box with like root beer float type of notes, vanilla ice cream, some berries. It is just absolutely fantastic. And I would bet this wins my bourbon of the year. In the past, I haven't done barrel picks in my bourbon of the year, but it is what it is. That's probably what we're going to do this year because I've moved away from chasing allocated bourbons, and I found most of my favorite things that I'm tasting now are single barrel picks. They're from some younger distilleries that are up and coming. I don't chase the Buffalo Trace, the super allocated stuff anymore. Because quite frankly, a lot of these newer distilleries are outclassing them. They're producing better juice at a more reasonable price, and it's easy to find. So with that being said, let's reveal my favorite spirit I've tasted in 2024 so far, for those of you that are still hanging around. Now, this is a very unique pour. In fact, it's one I've brought to a lot of bottle shares, and many people that have tried it, especially bourbon lovers, aren't the biggest fans of it. So I might be completely out on a limb here, but I do think you should try it, especially if you see this pour at a bar. My favorite spirit of 2024 so far. Very unique expression from Bacta. It is Bacta 1928. Now, if you know anything about Bacta, the owner of Bacta formerly owned Whistle Pig. And this is a straight rye whiskey that is blended, not finished, but blended with Calvados and Armagnac barrels. And that Calvados and Armagnac vintages go back to 1928. There's some 1940, or maybe 1941. A bunch of really older vintages. Now, they don't say what percentage is in the bottle, but this just has some beautiful dusty notes. Very, very unique. A great sipper, super crushable. I absolutely love this expression, but again, I think it is a try before you buy, but this is a bottle that I am putting many backups in my bunker. Just that beautiful. And Bacta is really doing some interesting things. So another newer company that a lot of people haven't heard of, but I do have a store where there are several of these on the shelves right now. So they're out there in the states that Bacta distributes to. All right, guys, that does it for our list of top 5 bourbons in 2024 so far. Again, these are the best spirits that I've tasted so far, not really in the category of just bourbon, since we had some finished stuff, some ryes. But if you'd like to join the Whiskey Tornado Patreon, you can do so for as little as 2 months, help support the channel. If you're more into barrel picks, you can join our charity organization, Barrels for Hope, by visiting barrelsforhope.com and get in on all these barrel picks that I shared with you guys. I'm really quite amazed in 2024 that the best things I've tasted are barrel picks and from newer distilleries that are up and coming, and not from the legacy distilleries and all of the allocated products. As always, guys, I'm super interested to hear from you. I would love to know, what are your top 5 bourbons in 2024? So if you have a list, please put them in the comments below. I would love to check out your recommendations and maybe review some things that you really love. As always, guys, thanks for the support. Thanks for hanging out. We love you guys very much. We will see you on the next video. Cheers, everybody.
Ooh.